Good morning. You're watching Much Ado About Something today, and I'm Donna. Welcome here. I'm glad you're here this morning. Well, I've got a lot planned today. I'll have all 6 grandkids today, so my day will be pretty busy. I want to be sure I get some things done so that I can spend time with them. I'm going to make tea this morning. And what more appropriate tea would there be than to drink the summer berry tea made by Charbrew? I love this tea, so I'm going to get my water boiling and make tea this morning. Let's read and see what this tea has in it this morning. Let's look and see what all good ingredients are in here. So there's black tea. I love black tea. Elderberries, black currants, strawberry pieces, lily petals, amaranth petals, natural elderberry flavoring. Some very special teas are in here. So this looks delicious. This will be an excellent tea this morning. This was part of my gift teas from my husband. He bought me a box of tea for Christmas, and this was part of the tea in it, and a very delicious and special tea. Summer berry tea. Let's see if I can get this thing open. There we go. Oh, I love these tea bags. The triangular shape is supposed to get the most out of your tea. There's no staples, and this tea breaks down. This little bag breaks down. It's biodegradable. So I love that this morning. I picked a little chocolate mint. Later I'm going to make a drink with this chocolate milk, a refreshing summer drink. Let the water get good and hot. Let this tea steep and get ready for the day. It has just been super busy. I don't know how it's been at your house, but this time of the year it gets super busy. School will be starting back for most of the kids soon. It won't change my schedule with them a lot when school starts back, because I'll still be keeping them when they get out of school. But activity picks up a lot when school season starts back. It'll be let's see, the first day of fall is September 22nd this year, I think. I'll have to check the calendar, but I think that's what it is. So we still have the rest of July, which is not much. July's almost over. We'll have the month of August and about, 3/4 of September before fall gets here. But it'll happen so fast. Fall will be here so fast. It'll be on us before we know it. I'm going to add my wildflower honey, raw and unfiltered, the kind of honey that I like to use. I'm going to go ahead and add this while the water's hot into my tea. And I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of this sour gum, this molasses, because it's got good nutrients in it. It's got some trace minerals and stuff that I like, so I'm just going to add about a 1/2 teaspoon of that. And that's what's going to be in my tea this morning, in my delicious summer berry tea. It's good to add those things while everything's still hot. And then I help melt those good things right into the tea. Now that sour gum, those molasses, they change the flavor a little bit when you add them into your tea, so make sure you like that before you add it. I'm just piddling around this morning. Trying to assess what is most important that needs to be done. I got up early with Donald this morning to spend some time with him before he went into work, so I could just see him and talk to him before he went in while he had his coffee and got ready. And so I'm just assessing what needs to be done today. Now I'll have my 6 grandchildren who are ages from 11 down to 4. And one of our sweet grandchildren has disabilities. She has autism and Down syndrome. And so I'll focus on what she needs today. She's got a schedule that I have to adhere to. And of course, I'll have things to help her with throughout the day. And of course, that's okay. That's part of loving her. We love her for who she is and we enjoy her. So I'll just have to make sure that in the busyness, that I don't forget to do the things that are scheduled for her. I try to make her laugh at least once a day. I try to do something that gives her a good, hearty belly laugh. I love to make her laugh. She's such a joy, and she enjoys life so much. But I'm in here this morning. I have really, really had a lot going on. We're still picking from the garden. I've got to weigh these little cherry tomatoes. I hadn't been weighing them. And I did get a handful of okra. And a handful of cayenne peppers. We just planted like 3 or 4 little okra plants. We didn't want a whole lot of okra. This might be enough to make pickled okra. I might get 1 jar out of this, maybe a pint. And then we've got cayenne because, we add that. We use that spice throughout the season. I've been cleaning with my thieves cleaner, that they did a test on this. I watched where they did a scientific test, and they tested all these different cleaners, and thieves cleaners came out the top. I've got a video on how to make thieves cleaner if you don't know how to make that, using essential oils and just a few simple ingredients that you might have around the house. I love that cleaner. It's what I use in my kitchen, and I need to use that more often, I'm telling you. This blueberries, Donald went to his family's and picked more blueberries. I think we've already got about 3 gallons picked and put up this year. So I've been busy canning. I got green beans canned. I ended up with 16 cans of green beans, 16 pints. And that was from that bushel of green beans that Donald and I picked on that weekend. I got them canned up and it made 16 pints. So that'll be good. 16 good additions to the meal. I have, guess what? Our tomatoes. Our tomatoes are finally coming in. And oh my goodness. We made our first tomato sandwich and it was wonderful. Our Mr. Stripey tomato came in. This is a yellow tomato with stripes. I have it in this baggie, and I will work on this today. I'll incorporate this tomato into our meals. Me and Donald ate half of it last night. It was delicious, and it's so good when you grow it yourself. And then we've got some Cherokee purples that's coming in, and then some other tomatoes. Brandywine. There's some Brandywine here. Donald loves the Brandywine. His grandma always made those. So I'm enjoying tomato season. Our tomatoes finally ripened, and we let these vine ripen, so they were delicious. It's a funny thing. I don't like my tomatoes refrigerated, so I will put it in a baggie and leave it out for like 2 days. And they have acid in them, so they'll keep for a few days. Donald, he doesn't matter. He loves tomatoes. He'll eat them either way, refrigerated or not. But I love to leave mine out because I like a room temperature tomato. To me, it just brings out the flavor, and I love the texture. Let me know in the comments if you like your tomato refrigerated or not refrigerated. If that's just something, an odd quirk that I have, or if there's a lot of people like that. If you want to, let me know in the comments. I still have a ton of garden produce to work through over here. I've got this many cucumbers, and I've got to make pickles. And there's one really ripe cucumber. I've got a recipe where I use those. Then I've got squash and zucchini. So there's a lot of produce here that I'll need to go ahead and make plans to put up and preserve, and go ahead and incorporate that into our meals. We eat as much of our fresh produce out of our little garden as we possibly can. It's just so good fresh. Why would we not want to do that? I'll have to go gather eggs this morning. I haven't gathered eggs in a few days. Usually the kids help me do that, but it's been really busy. Yesterday was my day off, and I didn't have kids. I didn't have my grandchildren here, so I had to go play catch up. I had to go meet the insurance people, and I had some things that I had to do, so I ran around yesterday and did errands. But I was able to go and shop some. It just so happens that the place where I was meeting the insurance people was near TJ Maxx. So, of course, I had to run over there and see what TJ Maxx has. And I didn't buy a lot. I am in a mood. I usually do a no-spend month where I don't spend anything for at least 1 month out of the year, where I'm just totally eating out of my pantry, and I am using what I have, and I don't spend. Sometimes that is in January, but I changed it from January because that's when all the after Christmas sales are, and I was missing a lot of good buys that I usually stock up on for the year. So I changed my no spend month from January, and I'm trying to find a good month that isn't a good no-spend month for me. And what I mean by a good month is a month when there's not a lot of sales that I used to stock up with, when there's not a lot of birthdays in that month, because if I do a no-spend month, I'll have to pre-plan birthday gifts and buy those early, and that's hard to do sometimes with little ones because they change their mind a lot about what they want. So I have to try to find a good no-spend month so that I can go ahead and do that this year. But every year I incorporate a no-spend month. It helps me get a grip on consumerism. It helps me think about and make more thought about purchases, more intentional purposes for spending. I'm not just out here in the heat of the moment, grabbing up whatever I see. It just helps me in discipline for no spending. And I've been thinking a lot about what do I actually need? What do I actually need to be spending on? Donald and I went and got groceries Sunday. Donald and I usually spend $130 every 2 weeks. So our monthly grocery budget for our family is $260. That's not including the farmer's market or the fruit stands, which we do get a lot of our groceries from. I mean, I need to go ahead and calculate that spending into the groceries just as well. But just from the grocery store, from whatever grocery store we choose to go to, whether we shop at Sam's Club or Costco or, one of the local grocery stores that we have here. We have Food Line and Ingles, and, those are our grocery stores. Even Dollar General sometimes, I think, has a lot of groceries, so you can include that into your grocery shopping if you shop from there. I sometimes run and get bread or milk from Dollar General just because it's small, it's close, it's easy to run in there and get it and get out. But this time, Sunday, when we went and got groceries, it was double. It was double. So in spending $130 every 2 weeks, we're starting to have to spend $260 every 2 weeks, which makes an impact on your budget because your income did not double. So with the prices of a lot of things doubling or being raised so much, he loves diet green tea, Lipton diet green tea. We were getting that from Sam's for about $9.98. We went to get that Lipton diet iced tea for him, and it was $17.98. So that tea had a price increase of $7 or $8, wasn't it? I mean, you normally get it for $9.98, and then there it was for $17.98. Was $8. I mean, that's a huge increase, isn't it? So we've been finding a lot of prices and stuff, things just astronomically expensive, not sure. And so he didn't buy his tea. He did not buy that diet green tea. He said, I'll make it from the tea bags. I'll just make my own by the gallon. I'll use my reusable cup, and I'll leave that tea right there. And that's the decision that he made. And that's the thing that I do too. Hey, if cereal, which Donald and I don't eat a lot of cereal because, we can't have it in our diets. But I do pick up some cereal because it's a good snack for my grandchildren. And if that stuff goes up unreasonably, it stays on the shelf and we make waffles or we do something different. We don't buy those things when they've gone up that astronomically. We just leave them on the shelf and we choose to, nope, we'll do other things. Now, we live here between 1/4 and 1/3 of an acre here on this little lot, and we grow what we can out here. But there's no way we could grow everything that we eat. There's no way we could store everything that we would need to eat. I love the idea of storing wheat berries and making your own flour, but I have nowhere to store wheat berries. I have nowhere to store a grinder to make flour. So just being here in this house, it's a smaller house on the side, especially for as many people as we have in our house. It's truly a blessing come true that our house be full of love, friends, and family and love, because our house really is. We have a lot of good friends and a lot of family. Me and Donald and I raised 3 children. They are now married, so we have 3 children plus their 3 spouses, and they each had children. Then we have 6 grandchildren. So we went from having 3 to having 12 in our immediate family. We feel like, and they're welcome at any time. And our house is just like that. It's full, it's used for the right things, and it's full of life. It's just as full of life as it can be. And that's what makes it home, and we love that. So, in that being said, it's not a lot of room for other things. I mean, I'm limited to how much I can actually do from scratch. I don't have a big kitchen. I don't have a warehouse. And what bit of kitchen I have is just chock full of things. So I'm limited as to how much I can do for myself here in the city on a small lot in a development home. Not that I'm not thankful. I mean, we've been here for a long time. Donald and I have done a lot in this house. I mean, and we'll continue to do as much as we possibly can. But I'm just sharing with you that, there's no way we could raise all of our own food, but we do what we can. We raise our little garden, and we do what we can. But with grocery prices going up as much as they have been, we're just going to have to make decisions. We're just going to have to opt out of things that have astronomically jumped in price. We'll just let them keep that there at the grocery store, and we'll move on and make different choices. And that's being versatile, and that's how you survive circumstances like what we're going through, in our country right now. You become flexible, and you learn to make better decisions. Well, we're doing really good. I've got all this produce that I've got, and I've got to work on that, and I've got to make pickles, and I've got to do that in a timely manner. So that'll be some things I'll be working on. I hope to film some of those things, to share those recipes and things with you. But I've shared a lot of recipes on my channel, and I don't want all of my recipes to be out, so that when you buy the book, when I get my recipe book printed and when I get it all together, I don't want you to already have all the recipes before that book comes out. So, but I will share the 200-year-old grape leaf pickle recipe that came from my friend. She was 94. She shared this recipe with me. So she ate it all of her life. Her mother and her grandmother made this recipe. So you can imagine it's well over 200 years old, and it's a brine pickle, and it's delicious. And I have enough pickles to go ahead and get that started. So I may have that, if not in this video, I'll have that in an upcoming video. But I still have a lot of produce I've got to freeze or can or make jam or something out of. It's a busy time of the year, and I want to show you the garden. You will not believe how overgrown the garden is, because I've been working in the back with the vegetable garden, and I've been canning produce and things. I have a ton of weeds. Donald and I did, and I will include a clip where I was clipping back. We were able to weed some this weekend. On Saturday, we got out there with the total task of just being to rid that front gardens of weeds. We got probably a 3-foot high pile of weeds when we raked them all together that we had pulled out of it, and it didn't even touch the weeds that we have in the garden. So that task is to be done. I'm going to show you that late summer garden that's got away from us, and I'm going to just show you how many weeds and things are out there and how overgrown that gets. But it gets like that almost every year, because there's only so much you can do in the course of a day. There's only so many things that you can do, and when they cross the number of things that's reasonably done, then you don't get it done. Let me show you this cat. Look at this beautiful cat. Look at the markings on him. Well, he's turned out to be a boy. We thought he was a girl because we got him really young, but he's turned out to be a boy, and he is beautiful. He is a beautiful cat. Look at the markings on him. They're northwestern forest cats. They're cousins to the big cats. I forgot, what are they called? Maine Coons, the Maine Coons. But these are smaller, and they don't get as big as a Maine Coon. They're beautiful. Oh my gosh, his markings are awesome. He's not sure what to do because I don't let him on the counter in here in the kitchen, so he's like a little bit scared. He's like, oh my gosh, I'm in here where she doesn't let me be. But I have really, really thought this cat is beautiful. Look at him. Look at his colors and his markings, and there's his little belly. That's how he got his name. David said he looked like a chocolate chip cookie. And he really does. But he is getting more and more beautiful. And I am in love with this cat because he is like a little tiger. And I have really enjoyed this kitty. He's a good kitty. He sleeps with me. He slept with me last night. Not in the bed, but near me. And I really enjoy him. I'm going to go ahead and wash my hands. I have an OCD. Whenever I pet the cats, I have to wash my hands. Any animal. I never do not wash my hands after I pet one of these animals. So that's just added to it. But I'll find Mama Kitty, I'll find Angelina and show you how beautiful she is. So here's Angelina. She's Mama Kitty. Look at how beautiful she is. She's a beautiful lavender grayish color. And she is the sweetest cat. Now she is my husband's cat. She loves him. She loves to hear his voice. She loves him. When he comes in the door, that's who she wants to see. She could care less about me. She does like me because I'm here feeding her, but she's not my cat. She does not, I'm not her person. It's treat time now. She's going to enjoy getting a treat. I'll try and find something that she might like in here. My good friend gave me all of these treats. For these new kitties. It was almost like a baby shower, all the good things, only it was a pet shower. When I got these two kitties, she gave me so many good things for them. She gave me the dishes that they're eating and the little mats down there. They eat up under this chair because I have those 6 grandchildren and they feel protected under this chair. They feel like they can eat and not be bothered. And so that's why their bowls are up under there and their water. But little Angelina, she loves her food. She loves treat time. And look at Cookie getting in the treat bag. Oh. But he is so much like a little tiger. He is just got a little tiger looking face, and he is something else. Of course, the grandkids have him spoiled rotten. See his little chocolate chip belly there? These grandkids have this animal spoiled. My little granddaughter, the little granddaughters, this is their baby. You know, they're going to carry him around all day. My oldest son, he tickled me. He said, I knew it was a boy because it had all that hair coming out of its ears. I thought about that. I don't know that a male cat has more hair coming out of its ears than a female, but that was his take on it, and I thought it was hilarious. Little Angelina's under there. She's going ahead and having her meal. She's having her breakfast. She doesn't care if Cookie's eating or not. And Cookie's just wanting the treats. He's wanting the candy part. Let me see if I can go ahead and get them a treat out. I'm in here in the playroom where the kids' toys and things are. She usually won't take it out of my hand. I usually have to lay it down on the floor for her. Cookie does not care. He'll take the treat any way you give it to him. Now Angelina's decided that she wants to be petted. She wants lovin's. I just wanted to give you an update on the kitties because I hadn't shown them in a while. We still have them. They're doing good. They're adjusting well. They still love it. Okay, one more, and that's it. Cookie, you better get your treat. They have been just the best kitties that I could have possibly gotten. They really have. They're good listeners. They do what we, the purpose that we got them for. Angelina, she loves my husband better than she does me. And Cookie, he loves us all. They're fitting right in, and we love them. And I just wanted to show you their markings, how beautiful these cats are getting, how beautiful they are. They haven't knocked over too much stuff. They haven't been wild. They've been very sweet. Now, they do get the zoomies. At night, they do zoom through the house a little bit. But I have a lot of stuff, a lot of plants, and a lot of things that tempt them, and I just have to make a little noise. I don't want to make it now because I don't want them to think that they can't eat their food. But it's just a little, like a little hiss noise. I'll make that, and they will leave whatever they're messing with alone. And so that's been good. I hope they continue to listen. But they have a lot of fun things to do and a lot of love here. Get a lot of attention. So they fit right in. They turn out to be the perfect cats for us. We ended up getting this storage container. I got this at Sam's. Sam's actually had these storage containers. You know, Sam's just has seasonal things. And sometimes they have, you know, specialty items. And I just got one of these. I'm going to go ahead and pull this sticker off. But we were able to get this container for our cat food, and it stays in here in the playroom, and none of the kids they haven't messed with it. They haven't paid any attention to it, but the food is here near their bowls, so it's easy for us to get it. Now, there's food left over this time. This holds 40 pounds. This container holds 40 pounds. It's a 40-pound container. It says storage dispenser for wood pellets and more. And of course, it's got animal food there. And, you know, they're showing where you might have more than one to store your things in. But this is made in the USA, Buddy's storage dispenser. And it holds 40 pounds. And we usually buy this 36-pound of cat food. You can see right there it says 36 pounds. And normally that whole bag of cat food will fit into the container. But I already had a little bit of cat food left in it. I already had some left. But I wanted to go ahead and pick up the cat food for the month. Or this probably the last 2 months. I went ahead and picked up the cat food because Donald was there to lift it for me. And I wanted to go ahead and get it. And that it didn't all fit in the container. It normally does, but it didn't this time. So I'm going to have to find a place to store this food until I can fit it in here. Now, I hate to do this. This is one of my issues with storage containers. I don't understand why people will buy containers and then have this leftover bag hanging around. Of course, I try to use this bag first. I'll put it right here in the closet and it won't be a big deal. But the whole thing about it is this container is made to hold this thing, and if it's not going to hold all of it, then it wouldn't do me any good. Of course, it does hold all of it with, you know, careful planning. But who goes all the way to the bottom? Who lets the cats go completely out of food before they go shop and get more? Not many of us. If we see we're getting low on food, we go ahead and buy a bag. But this Cookie's getting my feet. So that's one of the issues I have with storage containers, and that's what I'm dealing with right now is I'm buying storage containers to redo my kitchen and redo my areas. I don't want to buy a bunch of storage containers and fill them up and have these leftover bags. And these leftover bags, I've watched a lot of storage videos, and I noticed people just put these, when they're filling up these containers and they have these leftover bags, they just have like a basket or a box or something where they have all these half-used containers. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to have a whole big basket of stuff that wouldn't fit into my storage container. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in the process of trying to figure out good storage solutions and containers that'll fit my size of bags. I was going to try to put these in here with the baby wipes. I think I will make some changes. Just put the catnip and stuff in here in this drawer so that I'll have these things easily accessible. I won't have to dig them out of that closet every time I want to give them a treat, which is every day. They get a treat every day, so I'm just going to make them easier to get to. And maybe stuff that I use less often, I'll put in a differently accessible area. So in between all of this harvesting, putting up food, taking care of my grandchildren, I've been trying to organize my things. I was able to take 4 big boxes to the thrift store of things that, you know, I had just too many of, or I hadn't used in a while, that I wasn't going to be using. So I just went ahead and took those things to the thrift store and got them up out of my way. So I've been in the process of organizing. There was no way I could show y'all the beginning organized because I don't have a lot of plans. It would just take too long because I'm kind of filling it out as I go. How to store the things that we use the most and how to make them easily accessible. If you remember a while back, I made a video on my essential oils. The essential oils that I had got so heavy that where I would store them in there in the cabinet over the bathroom, it was making that shelf buckle. I had to change. I had to put those heavy things somewhere else. And I put those right here in this pantry closet because that's fairly easy access for me. And right here in our little pantry closet, that's the easy access pantry. It's something I can get to, you know, often, easily right here in the kitchen. So I ended up putting my essential oils, and now these shelves, they'll hold hundreds of pounds. These shelves, I think, hold 300 pounds. We got this shelves set of shelves right here from Sam's. It's a set that comes in a box, and Donald put it together in here. So I didn't have to worry that this shelf would buckle in any way, and I could still have easy access. They have to be where I can walk up to them and just be able to pull out whatever I need to pull out when I need it, because I use them that often. And you know, they have to be easily accessible. I had one viewer shared that they store theirs under the bed, and that is probably an excellent place, but I could not be getting up and down that much in the course of a day, because I use these things several times a day for different things. I make a lot of things, and so this turned out to be the excellent place to put those essential oils, was right here in this cabinet. But now I have other things that I store here. I mean, there are you know, things that we don't use often. These little things we use to make popsicle treats for the kids. This is candy, and of course it stays closed behind these doors because these kids would want that candy more often than I would want them to have it, so it has to stay kind of tucked away out of sight. And then there's the cookers and other things here, And this little pantry does fine. There are some storage containers in here where I put things that I have a lot of, but I do not take my things out of packages and put into other things unless there's an issue and I need to do that. For the most part, I just leave them in their packages. But like these are orange citrus peels that I've saved, you know, to make tea with. And then these are peach peelings that I've saved to make tea with. So those didn't have an original package, you know, they were fruits. And so I have to have a package to store those in. But I'm going to try to figure out some system for me that is easier for me to access everything I need when I need it. And that is harder to do than, it's easier said than done. It's quite a task. Now these are tinctures and things that will be using in the upcoming months to make products with, to make salves and different things for my family. And I like to put them in this little cabinet because it's dark. And or oil infusions and glycerin infusions and different things that I have. But I've got that going on at the same time. I'm in the process of trying to figure out the best, most accessible place I can find in my house for the things that I use most often. And this little pantry is served real good for easy access right here. Now I've got kombucha tea, I've got my kefir grains, I have a lot of things like that I'm going to have to figure out. I'm going to have to figure out a station that I can kind of keep those things together. And so that's in the works. I mean, you know, I can't just have all this stuff taken over the house all the time. I've got to get a system. Normally I'm really good at that, and I've been good at that for many years in this house. But lately it's been a struggle. I have now come to a point where I am really going to have to stop and think about and plan where I'm going to put all these things that I've got going on. So hopefully I'll be sharing some of that with you in my journey, and maybe there will be something through my experience that you can use for yourself. Maybe it'll inspire you or give you an idea. And that's always the intention of this video. Thank you for joining me today with my ramblings, my morning ramblings on what I'm going to do with my day and how much I'm going to get done today. I appreciate you like always, and I thank you for joining me. Remember to subscribe if this is something that you want to see on a regular basis. And if you got something to say, go ahead and make a comment. I love the comments. I love to interact with you in that way. I'm going to go over here and go ahead and get my tea. I am going to probably make a list of things that if I don't get done today, that I can at least reference back to. And maybe in the next video, we'll just see how many things that I've got done. I can share them with you. I wanted to show you the garden today, but I'll do a different video on that. You wouldn't believe how full that front garden's gotten. It's just a late summer garden. It's full grown. It's ready to be thinned out and some things to be cut out. And we'll do that in the next gardening video. Thank you for joining me today. And like always, until next time.